Alright, we're the Hebrew Israelites. We come out here week in, week out to prophesy the downfall of this kingdom. You know, as you can see, it's kind of snowing a little bit, but, you know, this war's going to come out. Apologize because it's going to be a little bit of more talking than anything. Alright, it's going to be a little bit difficult to bring out the scriptures. You know, and I hold the umbrella at the same time, but I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. Alright, you know, I'd like to start off by saying, you know, praises to Yahweh, Yahushai. Alright, you know, and honest, double honest to the elders that rule over the elders of GMS. You know, and honest to you brothers out there that be pushing this truth with sincerity. And, you know, we're nearly out here, man. We're nearly out here. I did have a lesson prepared, but we're just gonna go over the spread. Alright, Lord willing, you know, I do this for a certain amount of time out here. You know, we gotta be instant in season and out of season nowadays. In fact, that said, instead of me having to go back and forth with scriptures, I use the old notebook, put some scriptures down in the notebook. Right, but you know, the scripture says we're gonna be instant in season and out of season, man. Sometimes it's gonna be in the snow like this, sometimes it's gonna be in the rain, you know, but it's all for you know, it's all for the betterhood or the brotherhood. It's not a lot of snow, so we're gonna kick it. Still gonna kick it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's really good identifier.
It looks like it's coming down a little bit, so get back into the word. It looks like no, it stopped a little bit. No praises to the Most High for that, because it's gonna be a little bit difficult, but you know, the word's gonna come out, so that's the spirit. All praise to the Most High for that. We're gonna get straight into it. Get back to the lesson. Right, this is right. The lesson basically today is, you know, we're all that we have. This knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is all that we have. All right. All right. This word is all that we have, man. All right. This wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of whom the world whom the world calls Jesus is. Right, which is Yahushua, which we know through the Spirit, which we know through the Hebrew. Right, because you got to go in the Hebrew to certain understanding. You can only have the full understanding of it with the full understanding of the Hebrew. Right, the Scripture says the Most High he reveals his secrets unto his prophets, right, unto his servants. Who are his servants? The men that come out here week in, week out, and through the Spirit of the Lord, in season and out of season, prophesying the downfall of this kingdom. Right, prophesying how this man's going to go into slavery underneath the children of whom this world calls the Negroes, the Hispanics, the so-called Native Americans. Right, who are the children of Israel. Right, pursuing prophecies, because the children of Israel was going to be dispersed amongst the four corners of the earth. Why? Because the Most High said if you went off on these laws, statutes, and commandments, certain things was going to happen. One of which was we was going to be dispersed amongst the heathen, so much so you weren't going to be able to tell who's a so-called Judah, who's a so-called Benjamin. Right, and those are the three tribes: Judah, Benjamin, Levi. That was the northern tribe, if I correctly remember, and the southern tribe went into the new world before us, which is the so-called Spanish-speaking, so-called Latinos, and so on and so forth. Right, that encompasses the whole children of Israel. But more so than that, you got the children of Israel dispersed amongst the heathen throughout the four corners of the earth. Right, under different names. That's why the Scripture says, "Unto us is given confusion of faces." Right, so you're gonna have, like I bring out every week, you're gonna have Moabites that are Israelites. Right, Jet Li, Bruce Lee is a so-called. He'll probably be a Judah. You can see the flavor in the way he goes about his business. The Lord said Israel is a flavorsome people, right? Namely, the Lord said Israel is a people above all people, right? They're likened unto the salt of the earth, right? That's why you see all of the Negroes throughout the four corners of the earth. We're above all things, man. Right? We're the best, whatever it is, wherever realm of existence it is, whether it be on a basketball court, on a football pitch. Man, Jake is a flavorsome people. Right? We're stronger than any other nation on the face of the planet. Right? That's why I said, man, this is all what we have. Because for us to understand, those are the people of Israel, those are the children of Israel, not those Gadites up in there in Jerusalem right now. Because if those were the real children of Israel, pursuant to Ezekiel the 38th chapter, then 37th chapter, right? Then that land would be fruitful right now. They wouldn't have to import all the riches, not the riches, but the food and water and all that kind of stuff. Because it was prophesied that when the children of Israel do go back into that land was going to be fruitful. That land was going to bear fruit. It's going to yield men. Right? They ain't nothing but homosexual. And if they are the children of Israel, where's the house of David? Where's King David? Didn't the Mosai say he's going to set his king back up? Right? Didn't he say he's going to set King David back up? If that is the children of Israel, where is he? And where is the other rest of the tribes? Right? Because Judah only, to be a Jew, is the derogatory term referring back to what they used to call the tribe of Judah, right? Which is the head tribe of Israel, right? Then you had Benjamin and Levi, which encompasses the northern kingdom, right? And then you had all the other 9 tribes, which encompasses the southern kingdom, right? Which is known as the house of Israel in the scriptures. That's why the Mosai said, in that day, right, when the Mosai sets up a kingdom that will never be destroyed by anyone, right? In that day, right, he was going to take the staff of Joseph and the staff of Judah, roughly quoting from Obadiah. He's going to join it. He's going to make it into one kingdom. So if that's the children of Israel, why is it such a small number of people? One, and where are the rest of the tribes? Right? Where's the other 11 tribes? You say you're the Jews, you're the Jewish. Where's the rest of the tribes? Right? And that's how we know through the scriptures that the people that call themselves the so-called Jews right now, that's the house of Edom, that's the house of Esau, that's Amalek. Right? That's what, and the scripture refers them to the synagogue of Satan. Why? Because they'll be perpetuating all the madness that happens in this world. Right? The homosexual vibration that you have in this world. Right? You could coach a pig in Jerusalem. That's an abomination. That's an abomination. They're supposed to be this holy people. They're supposed to be these people that follow the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. You ain't supposed to be having no pigs being eaten in Israel. That's an abomination. The Most High sets certain foods and certain animals to fulfill certain purposes. Right? One of the purposes, one of the certain things that's gonna happen is the food's gonna be, you're gonna have the food change. So you're gonna have certain products that are gonna break the food back down. Right? For instance, you might have a dead animal or something. And I'm kind of in the spirit, so I'm just bringing it out. Kind of in the spirit. I know I was gonna touch on this, but kind of rolling on the spirit. So we're just gonna go over there, and I'll get back into the topic at hand. Right? You got certain animals that might die, and there's gonna be those things. There's processes that happen in the earth, which is known as the food chain. Right? There's certain processes that's gonna happen before that nutrients that animal ate is gonna go back into the nutrient cycle. Right? Then you got certain animals that fulfill that task. Right? Then you got bacteria, right? Which is pretty much on the basis of that. Right? And above that is gonna have catfish and pigs and all of that kind of stuff. So having kosher pig is madness. That's madness. Right? Now this is Ecclesiastes 10:6. Right? This is Ecclesiastes 10:6. It says, "Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low places." Right? That's what you see in this kingdom. Ain't nothing but folly. Right? Ain't nothing but madness happening in this kingdom. Right? Alright, snow's come back. Right? Ain't nothing but madness in this kingdom. Right? That's why you see homosexuals walking around. Right? That's why the so-called Negro man has been brought down to what he is right now. Right? Which is a nobody. Right? That's why Job said in Job 30, the 30th chapter, right? "Them that are younger than I have me in derision." Right? What did he mean by that? Because who was the first person to come up on the face to be made on the earth? It was Adam. Right? And what two children did he have? He had Cain and Abel. Right? Cain and Abel basically is Jacob and Esau, right? Just coming back in reincarnation, right? That was the first instance. And who was younger? You had Cain. Cain killed his brother Abel, and Abel was the elder one. And that name literally means transitory, because when Eve had another son, if I'm remembering the story correctly, right? But the essence of it is correct, right? When she had another child, right? She basically named him I forgot the name, but the name literally means, right? Basically something to the effect of basically blessing the Most High, because she had another son, and that was that same spirit coming back, right? And then why was Job saying, "Them that are younger than I have me in derision"? Because literally, spiritually speaking, Esau is younger than us. Even though Jacob came second, Esau is younger than us. When we look at throughout the whole process of reincarnation, we see who the first instance, who the first entity was. It was Jacob, right? Just under a different name, which was Abel at that instant, right? That's why they said. That's why the scripture says Esau was a murderer from the beginning, right? Which goes to show you gotta go precept upon precept, right? Why is Job gonna say them that are younger than I, right? When Esau was the firstborn, right? And then why is the scriptures gonna say that he was a murderer from the beginning, right? Who was the first killer, right? It was Cain, which literally means, when you look up the word, it means dagger or killing instrument, right? And these people know that they're Edomites. They know that they're the so-called house of the house of Esau. That's why they call themselves the Rothschild, right? That's why they call themselves the Illuminated, the Illuminati, and so on and so forth. Because who was supposed to be the light bearer in this kingdom? Who was going to bear the light, right? It was going to be Esau. Esau is going to be the one that had the light out here. That's why they go under that disguise, right? But like I said, the scripture says folly is set in great dignity, right? That's why you see this Harlem nonsense, whatever it is, man. That has no rhythm whatsoever in it. That's why, and that's what this people is all about. You were supposed to be into this word right about now, right? You're supposed to be getting into this word, and that's the scripture says. In that day, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is going to be the stability of that times. Why is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding going to be the stability of that times? Right? Because all hell is about to break loose out here. Right? All hell is about to break loose out here. There's going to be so much there's going to be so much hell coming to this planet, right? Not this planet, like, there's going to be so much war happening on this planet. Right? There's going to be so much bombs going off on this planet that the scripture says knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is going to be the stability of that time. Not having your own, nuclear bunker. Not having your sword. No, the Lord said He's not going to save Israel, but neither by bow, neither by sword. Right? He's going to save him through the spiritual power He's going to give us, and really He's going to save us through the Lord. Right? Because when the Lord comes back with them chariots, that's going to be our mission now. Right? Russia's got nuclear bombs, intercontinental ballistic missiles that can reach America in 25 minutes. What are you going to do in 25 minutes? Where are you going to go in 25 minutes? Right? What secret getaway system have you got that you're going to have, that you're going to get away from America in 25 minutes? Right? There ain't no way. And our scripture also says, them that are joined unto him shall be also destroyed. So England's going to catch a few missiles. Right? Because in legislation, right, they don't tell this to you. In legislation, should something pop off in America, England's going to go into a state of martial law if America goes into a state of martial law, and vice versa. Right? So you don't have to have you don't have to have a false flag to happen in America for America to go into a state of martial law. The false flag to happen here in England, right? And then America and England go into a state of martial law, right? And that's what the scripture says in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, right? That something to the effect of a man shall desire to go into a city, but shall not be able to. Why you ain't gonna be able to go into a city? Right? Because there's gonna be military trucks out here, which you see. I've seen in England myself. There's a military base just down the road over there, right? They're putting military tactics out together to get you people, right? That's why these roads is set up in such a way that all you have to do is block out one side of the road and you're stuck, right? You can't get up. You can't. Ain't nobody got helicopters out here. You can just zap out and be off like that. Right? Maybe maybe one in a million. You got your helipad on top of them high-rise buildings in the States or in the in New York or in London. But that's one out of a million. Right? If you live in these if you live like the majority of the people live out here, if you live in these urban areas, all you gotta do is lock down one side of the street and the whole city is locked down. Right? The M5, right, out there in London, right down there in London, ain't nothing but a means of controlling who goes in and out of London. Right? I believe it's the M5 or the M24, one of those two. Right? It ain't nothing but a means of controlling who goes in and who goes out of London. Right? And better believe there ain't gonna be no planes in that day. Right? And the same thing goes in America. You got these blocks, these gridlock blocks are set up systematically. So when the time of martial law comes, right, you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you ain't gonna be able to go out there and the pawns of the rest of the heathens, right? Of which the Rothschild and the rest of the elite of Esau considers everyone else, other than the ones that are in the know, as pawns. So all of you people is gonna catch our head. So when you see us pushing this truth, you look at us like we're mad or we're crazy. Man, we're trying to get up out of here, man. The number of Israel is going to be sealed. The 144,000 the elect men of Israel is going to be sealed, so we can be up out of here. Man, it's our kingdom coming next. That's why we out here, right? That Mosai said we're going to be a spectacle unto the people, right? So that ain't nothing. That's nothing to us, right? But when we come out here, we're looking forward to set a mark upon the men that sigh and cry, right? Sighing and crying about the abominations that be done in this kingdom. Right, the madness that you see in this kingdom, right? Those are the men that the Most High is looking to wake up, right? But more so than that, those are the men that Most High set forth from the foundations of the earth, right? That they're gonna wake up to this truth in those last days, right? But the rest of you, the Most High said, He's blinded right up until the point the missiles go off. So you ain't gonna realize that you had the men of the Lord out here pushing this truth right up until those missiles go off, right? Right up until the point there ain't no brick laying upon another brick. Right up until the Russia released them nuclear missiles that are going to hit you in 25 minutes, right? And then you better believe in that day the Most High is going to, extend that time continuum so you feel that pain, right? And that's why it also says in Proverbs 1 and 21st, right? That we're going to laugh at your calamity, right? You scoff is one. I mean, I bring it out pretty much every week, man, right? Scoff, the ones of you that scoff, that laugh, and so on and so forth, man, you're going to feel it in that day. We're going to laugh at you. Right? So much so that when you come back on the other side of the kingdom, you're going to be embarrassed at your own acts. Right? The wickedness and the madness that you've done, right? And the mockery that you had against, the mocking you used to do against the prophets of the Lord. Right? Now, if I can, I'm going to go to the next precept. I mean, I'm going to just keep it nice and simple. Right? I don't know what this weather's going to bring to me, so I'm going to keep it nice and simple. We'll just ponder in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. Right. It says, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of this prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth. Right? That's why we out here basically telling you what the Most High said. Right? Because who's the mouthpiece of the Most High? We're the mouthpiece of the Most High. The prophets of the Lord are the mouthpiece of the Most High. Those that come out here in sincerity, week in and week out, prophesying the downfall of this kingdom. Right? Because that's the spirit you're supposed to be in. You shouldn't want this kingdom to go on, because every realm of being you can coexist in this kingdom is nothing but madness. Right? If for instance, let's just an arbitrary example. Right? Let's say you're a chef, for instance. You work in a restaurant, right? Then you gotta deal with unclean meat, right? Let's say you're a teacher or you work in a schooling facility, right? Then you're gonna deal with these heathens. You're gonna deal with all manner of homosexuals and lesbians out here, right? You should not want to coexist in this kingdom. Right? That's why we come out here telling you people you gotta get right, you gotta get back into the word, you gotta get into the Most High right now. Right? We're going to get back into this. The children of Israel, you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you're going to get back into this word. Turn you at my reproach, is what the scripture says. Right? It says, right? It says, and cause them to be written on paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them that trouble thee, that speak against thee. For the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Right? And what's another word for faith? For having faith? For not having faith. Sorry. Right? Is effeminate. Right? It literally means having faith. And what does the scripture say in 1 Corinthians 6 and 9? Them that are know ye not that the effeminate shall not inherit the kingdom. Right? That means to say, man, you Negroes, you Hispanics and Native Americans, the ones of you that don't have no faith out here, you're effeminate. Right? And one instance of that is when Job was catching hell. His woman basically said, curse the Most High and die. And Job cursed his woman. They said, you're speaking like one of these simple women, man. When times was good, you was down, but now the times is getting a little bit rougher. You wanna start saying all kind of madness, right? Roughly paraphrase the story, right? But those ones of you that don't have no faith for this truth, man. The Most High basically said the script by words, right? By linguistic process, right? We find out that you're effeminate. The Most High basically says he ain't no effeminate gonna inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Right? And what's one thing that's going? Scripture says faith is dead without works. So you gotta come out here and do the work. If you know this truth, and you got that the inkling to be out here to be pushing this truth, pushing that away, man. That's only gonna get you into trouble. That's only gonna get you into a state of the Most High basically cursing. Right, so if you got an inkling to be out here, then you gotta be out here, man. Right, increase your faith. Right, you're gonna catch hell, but Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter and the 1st verse, basically say we're gonna be tried as the fire is tried, and as gold is tried in the fire. Right, we're gonna be catching that fiery trial sometimes, but that's all right, because sometimes you might catch a blessing. You might catch 1 or 2 blessings, and that's cool. But you still gotta be focused. The Most High said you gotta keep your eyes single. Right, your eyes gotta be focused on this truth. Right? That means we're gonna study, right? Get the deeper understanding, right? How'd you get the deeper understanding? Go into the Greek and the Hebrew. That's why it says in Ecclesiastes, in the prologue of Ecclesiastes, some things you lose the power, you lose the essence of what's being said when you translate it from language to language. Right? This is back in 2nd Ezra 15 and 5. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. Right? What's one of those plagues? One of those plagues is going to be those missiles. Right? Because in Zechariah, the 14th chapter, in the 2nd verse, it says, I'm going to bring a plague upon you wherewith you're going to be standing upon your feet. Right? And your tongue's going to melt away as you're standing. Your eyes is going to melt away as you're standing. That's a nuclear missile, man. That's a nuclear missile. And one of those plagues, which is the nuclear missile, is going to hit America within the space of when I started this video right up until this point. Right? From the second I said Shalom, brothers, and so on and so forth, right up until this point, right? That's how long it's going to take Russia to press that red button and that nuclear missile to rise up out of it. And Job basically describes, Job in the 24th chapter basically describes that. He describes something coming out of his goals, right? A fire not blown, right? And basically, it's going to hit his target. Them arrows going to hit their targets. Man, that goes to show you that the scripture, whether you're in the New Testament or Old Testament, it's so coherent. It's the salvation of Israel and the destruction of all of this wickedness, right? The destruction, the salvation of the righteous, which is you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans once you get into the word of the Most High, right? And the destruction of the Esau, right? The enslavement of the rest of the heathen, right? Which is Ammonites, Moabites, Ishmaelites, down the ladder. Right? You're going into slavery. Under who? Under the people that you have in slavery right now. The people that you have as a byword and a reproach. Right? The people that you call Negroes, wetbacks, Latinos or Hispanics, whatever. Those are the people that the Most High set forth from the foundations of the earth to be the chosen. Right? It says, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Right? And that's what's coming to this. That's what's coming to the whole planet. The scripture says. Right? Those are the plagues that come into the whole earth. Right? And that's why you got Britain's just been downgraded, like I brought out last week. It's been downgraded from a AAA rating to a AA rating. That's a plague in itself. That's a plague of if we was talking in the scriptural sense, it's a plague of the field. Right? Because in this country you don't deal with crops and so on and so forth. You deal with on a financial basis. Right? So let's say it gets downgraded again, which is possible. Right? That means to say, people is losing their jobs now. Right now you're gonna make more austerity measures and so on and so forth. Right? Then people is gonna have to go hungry. Right? And that's why the Most High said famine is coming, death is coming. And that's just to do with England. What about America? America's already been downgraded last year. Right? Britain will soon to follow. Right? And these are supposed to be the two strongest economies throughout the four corners of the earth. So what's gonna happen to the rest of these heathens in these other countries? Right? They're gonna start rioting. Right? There's gonna be food shortages. Right? There's gonna be water shortages. Right? The worst way to die is to know that you're gonna die because you haven't got no food. Right? The worst cry to hear is to hear the cry of your own children crying because you know you can't feed them. Right? And that's what the Most High is bringing to this whole planet. Why? Because you put the children of Israel into slavery. You put the children of Israel into captivity. Right? More so than that, the children of Israel went off on the Lord's statutes and commandments of the Most High. So we're in a state of enslavement, and until we're in a state of authority, the people is gonna mourn. Until we be given we take this kingdom, the people is gonna mourn. Because the scripture says, when the righteous are in the authority, the people rejoice. Right? So it's a time of mourning out here right now. It's a time of great mourning. Right? That's why we put on the garments. Sometimes they be dark colors, man. Sometimes they be rough garments, man. Because they ain't time to be all glorious and be dressed in glorious apparel. Right? That's why when the Lord comes back, he's gonna be wearing that glorious apparel, and we gonna be dressed up in that glorious apparel too. Why? Because it's our time to shine right then, man. That's gonna be our time to shine. Right? Up until eternity, man. Right? Because that kingdom, like it says in Daniel, the 2nd chapter and the 41st verse, it's going to be a kingdom who's going to never be destroyed, man. He's going to never be destroyed. He's not going to be given out to any other people, right? It ain't going to have heathens coming in and out of it. And we're always going to be increasing in terms of wealth, because in Revelations, it basically says the heathens are going to be coming in, bringing all their wealth onto it. Right? Day in and day out, night in and night out, man. The heathen's gonna be constantly bringing riches to us, right? And for you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, why wouldn't you want that? Why do you want to be in this man's kingdom? Why do you want to succeed? Why do you want to live the so-called American dream, right? So-called English dream, because you got different, you got different heathens in different countries, right? You got the children of Israel dispersed amongst the four corners of the earth, so you're gonna have, so-called Jakes in Africa. Jake loves England. And them African Jakes, they love coming over to England. Always, it's the country paid with gold and so on and so forth. But look at the credit rating. It's just been dropped down from AAA to AA. Right? Because the water that you drink in this country is filthy, man. Right? It's high in fluoride, high in chlorine. Those elements ain't supposed to be drunk in the body like that. Right? Fluoride basically closes up your corneal gland. If you research the history, research on your internet, right? It basically blocks out the corneal gland. And the corneal gland, if I'm right with the understanding I got for it, right? It's basically the link between the spiritual realm and the physical realm. It makes kind of sense, but I'm not. That's not my speciality. That's not what I can break down for you, right? Back to the umbrella. Alright, it's kind of on and off with this snow. But, you know, we're gonna do it to the best of my ability. Right, back to the scriptures. Right, it says, for wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Right? That's why the Most High is coming to destroy this place, because for wickedness is exceedingly polluted the whole earth. Right? All kind of wickedness is going on this planet. All kind of wickedness. Right? And that's why the Most High said for those reasons, death, famine, and destruction is coming upon him. Right? It says, Therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness which they profanely commit. Right? And who was so profane as who was as profane as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Right? And it's getting kind of rough out here. We, you know, carry on. Who for one morsel of meat basically sold his birthright. Right? That's why the Most High is basically coming to destroy this planet. Yeah, I might have to call it a day, man. Yeah, alright. With that, I'm gonna say double honors to the elders as always. Honors to you brothers that be pushing this truth and sincerity. Like you can see, it's a bit wild. Hopefully we can do a sit down when I get home. Alright, Shalom.